Feyenoord, we want to be a club that produces its own players, and we know that players that come from our academy have a bigger chance of succeeding than players that you get externally. So we want to have the best talent in our academy. Rotterdam is a region very rich in talent. So when we look at the academy, actually first we look at the first team, and our strategy is what we do in the first team is the end goal of what we do in the academy. So we think we want to play in a certain way in the first team, which is dominant football, always be on the attack, imposing our will on the opponent. So if that is the starting point, then we think, what can we do in the academy to create players who fit in that system? So rather than just starting from, okay, this is boys 7 and see how we can build them up, we look first at what we want to reach in the end, so the end goal, which is the first team, and what will be the game intentions, what kind of players do we need in that system, and those are the players that we are going to create in our academy. Work.
Yeah.
So well, we work day to day with a highly professional staff that does everything to create the best possible players, but we also look at them holistically. So it's not just about being a good football player, it's about being a good person, right? Because we have to take care of all these boys and girls nowadays, because we also have girls in our academy. And make sure that they get the best out of themselves through the work that we do. So our program incorporates the football part, the physical part, but also the mental part, and we work together with the school to make sure that they have a good education as well. So as I said, we know how we want to play in the end, so we know what kind of players fit in our game intentions. So what we do is we have a scouting department that looks at children who play to be inside Holland, because the rules do not allow for players outside. Yeah.
Okay.
So there are some exceptions because their parents move here, for example, but
Yeah.
otherwise you just look at Dutch children. Yeah. And then we try to find the best ones and we invite them and they join Feyenoord. And from that moment on, we work with them every day.
Okay.
Yes, they have their own programs because a different head coach for the first team, he has his own emphasis, but he also knows the philosophy of the club and the game intentions that we want to play. So he will have a similar intention, but obviously a first team coach is only interested in the result, that we have to win. The main goal in the academy is not to win, but it's to develop players. So we don't mind if we lose, we do mind if we don't develop players. So that is a different way of looking at the players, but in the end we want to make them ready for the first team. So in the academy we have a methodology that is aimed to develop players for the first team. We have a head of methodology who makes sure that all the coaches put the right emphasis in their training sessions every day that fit within our program for the whole year. So what do I...
Okay.
Yeah, but we look at every player individually. So every player has its individual plan, and some go faster, and some they go well, and then suddenly their development stops. Every year, we take decisions about players. Can they stay? Do they go to the next phase? For every player, we have a personal development plan. So we sit down with the player and say, what are the things you think you need to improve, and these are the things we think you need to improve, and then we work on that every day. So in the end, the player also knows if he or she is doing well, or if maybe unfortunately he has to leave or she has to leave.
Okay.
But that is not the intention. The intention is for those players to stay and to make it to the stadium. I think in the current squad there are 7. And actually that number is quite low if you look over the last years. It's been higher. So, I mean, our objective is to have at least 50% of the squad from the academy. Yeah, so 1 year maybe,
7, 6, 5.
Yeah, and the next year will be more. And the thing is, now with the last coach, we really made steps. So the team really got better. And that makes it a bit more difficult for players from the academy to take the step, right? Yeah. Because the level is so high with the first team, it becomes a bit more difficult. But the objective is still the same. We want to have 50% homegrown.
Okay.
The biggest challenge, I think, there's many different challenges. I think every day the challenge is to make a program that's good for all the children, to make sure that they do well in school, to make sure that they develop themselves. You have challenges of what happens to boys if they become 16 and other teams want to sign them. Those are challenges for every club, right? And it's all about money. But I think we do pretty well, and we're able to attract good talent as well in the youth. So I think most players in the Netherlands, young players, will recognize that if they can go to Feyenoord, they are at one of the best academies.
Okay.
No, as I said, for every player we have this plan, personal development plan. So if I had my laptop, I could show you a little bit. But for example, we talk to players in the beginning of the season, and then it's an open discussion, and we want to make them conscious of what they need to improve, and hopefully they are aware of that and themselves too. Like for example, we can have a goalkeeper, and he knows that he has to be better with his feet. Then we talk about that, and we make a plan for it. We know that there's coaches available in the academy to help him or her work on that. If he wants to be physically stronger, then we have a plan for that. We tell them to be mindful of nutrition, everything, all the steps that he has to take to become better. And during the year, we have 2 or 3 moments where we sit down again and we assess. So how do you think things are going? What should be better? What's okay? And then the player, by the end of the season, already knows for himself if he's going to move ahead or not.
Okay.
And he knows why. You cannot come to the end to play at the end of the season. Yeah, you're not good enough anymore. Why? Oh, because you didn't improve, but you never told me I should improve. So it always has to be an open conversation.
From which age know the player that if he go to first team or not?
Yeah.
18, 17, 20?
That's difficult. I mean, some players make their debut at 16, like Milambo and Wijnaldum. And some players, maybe they're 21 and they can still be in the academy. It's because we also look at, you have the age by the passport, but you also have the biological age. So some boys and girls, they start growing a lot later, late bloomers and early. So some kids, when they're 14, they're really strong and they have an advantage over other kids. But by the time they're 18, the advantage is gone.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And those are usually not the ones that make it.
Okay.
Yeah. I think actually in the academy they use a lot of technology, so it can range from the GPS technology to all the data that's being collected about the players, and we have a data analysis team in the academy, video analysis team. So I think we have all the tools in place to really help players to become better. Oh, that's a whole different discussion.
Yeah.
I mean, we have partnerships with clubs in Japan and in Mexico.
Okay.
to start to name. We have local partnerships here in the Netherlands, so with amateur clubs that also have good youth. So we help them to get their coaches better, and we see their players. So it's like having more place where you can find your talent. And if you want to start academies around the world, that's like a commercial thing. In the past, we have had academies in Egypt, for example.
Really?
Let's say we had a disagreement with the owner.
Okay.
He didn't pay anymore, so financial. I also understand it was challenging for him, but in the end, we had to stop.
Are you willing to do something the same in Egypt?
Yeah, because I think Egypt is a very interesting market. It's a football crazy country. It's more than 100 million people, and I think probably 99 million love football. I think there's a lot of raw talent, so it could be very interesting. I know Ali, Zamalek, Arab contractors. The academy, obviously, I went there a couple of times, and then you learn more. Ismailia, I was there. I know some of the players. I met some of the players. I know Hegazi. What's the goalkeeper from Mohammed Awad? Also came and visited me here. Hegazi, I'm still in touch with him.
Great.
So I met Mohamed Salah.
Oh,
but,
sure.
He's a fantastic coach. He really is a fantastic coach. If you saw what he was able to do here in 3 years and really made a winning team with a very, very clear philosophy. And now last weekend I looked at Liverpool, Man United, and there you could see it's the same philosophy, but obviously the players are even better. I think he's going to do fantastic. And Manchester City are very good, obviously, but I think Liverpool can. So high in the English league is so difficult, and there's so many challenges. But if anyone can do it, then Arne Slot can do it. And I think you also can tell that he knows how he gets the best out of Mohamed Salah. And how he played last weekend, it's just amazing. Perfect. So I have no doubt whatsoever that Arne Slot will do fantastic. It's a bigger market.
Okay.
In terms of clubs, it's very similar. They're both from a port city, very blue collar, working class fan base, very fans that are very dedicated to the club. But the English leagues, then the money is just so much bigger than we cannot compete. If you look at TV money, they get about 10 times as much as we do per season. I think he can. I don't know everything, but I think he will be able to. I know definitely know he has the quality, and also when he was at a smaller club in the Netherlands, which is also a good club, AZ, and they said, I want to go to Feyenoord and I want to do this. I think I know how to make this club big again, and he did. Yeah. So and now with all this experience that he had here, I'm pretty sure he can do the same in. So think I don't want to disrespect Erik ten Hag because he's also a fantastic coach.
Yeah.
And he did really well with Ajax.
Yes, sure.
But you can see the difference in communication skills. If you see Arne Slot explain after a match, like tactically how he does things in perfect English. It's not as easy in communicating as Arne Slot. So Arne Slot's English is a lot better. And
Was it difficult to release Arne Slot at the moment that he getting the top was Feyenoord? Top levels Feyenoord.
I mean,
Yeah.
really
Was it difficult?
Didn't let him go because I think our CEO made a pretty good deal. So we got a lot of money, but it's a lot of money, but
It's not about money.
no, it's not about money because look at the money Slot brought here by developing the players, by qualifying for Champions League.
Exactly.
But you can also not say no when somebody gets an opportunity like that.
Yeah.
So I think our CEO did very well, got a very good deal for us. Arne Slot's happy, we're sort of happy,
Yeah.
although we said that he left, and then now we start again with a new coach. Emphasis on players that are in the academy. But if you look at our first team, we just sold Geertruida to Leipzig from our academy.
Okay.
Last year we sold Kukcu to Benfica from our academy.
Great.
The year before that we sold Malasia to Manchester United from our academy.
Okay.
And now if you look at the first team, Bijlo, the goalkeeper, also a goalkeeper of the Dutch national team. We have two young boys just made it into the first team. It's Milambo and Zegiel. So they are the future, and you cannot predict how well they will do. But if I look at the academy, there's a lot of players that I think that can make it. But it also depends what happens here,
Okay.
No, I hope we can keep working in the way that we do. We just have a new head of academy, Zeb Jacobs. I think it's a very good choice. So I hope we can just keep building and keep creating great players for the men as well as for the women.
Okay.
It's nice because now in our academy it's a new dynamic that there's boys and girls all in the same building, and I think it's also
Stops you to bring over players to Feyenoord, or there is no one offering you Egyptian players in Feyenoord?
No, I think it's not about offering. If we want one, and I think in the past there has been interest in a couple of Egyptian players.
Can we know some names?
No, there's no point because it didn't happen. So I can only talk about the ones who are actually here.
Okay.
I think Hassan did well. Could even have been better, but in the end he went from here to Tottenham Hotspur. So you cannot say that's bad, right? He took a step up after Feyenoord. Maybe if he would have stayed 2 more years, but you don't know. But Sharif did well, was a bit unlucky, also with injuries, and then when he came back and he played again and he made a mistake, and that was difficult for him, I think.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
actually I spoke to him day before yesterday because his daughter's birthday.
Okay.
Yeah, and Haitam had to compete with Koeman. So good luck with that. Right, Ronald Koeman was playing here then.
Really?
So
Oh.
so but
To
Haitam,
Koeman, or?
yeah, Here, so we still have a very good connection with him as well. He came. Tom was here. He was here in July,
Okay.
and then he met with our CEO. We have a thing here that's called the Open Day at the beginning of the season. So then we present the new players, and the stadium fills up for
Okay.
35,000 people. And he came as a fan, but obviously since he's a former player, we didn't.
Sure.
We took the moment
Many years ago.
to honor him as well.
Sure.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at some of the Egyptian players that did go to like England, like only Salah maybe and Nani, you can
Nani.
say that they made it.
Yes.
But other ones like Ramadan Sopi, they went back really soon, right? And where is he gonna play?
Second divisions, he have some offers.
Really?
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
insisting on coming back.
It's just commercial, but I think also when I was there, you saw a lot of talent.
Yeah.
If they have the mentality, that's if you look at Salah, I think there's no complaints, right? But some of the players, maybe they went back. Like Sobi, I don't know why he didn't stay in England.
Yes,
Mentality.
the mentality.
Because the other guy, Trezeguet, but so yeah, for a country that big, there's not many players leave.
Yeah,
So I think,
exactly.
and I think they are stars in Egypt, but if they have just a little bit extra, they could be like Salah.
Yeah.
But many of them are playing in Egypt or in Emirates or Saudi and I think for a country the size of Egypt, there should be more playing in top European leagues, right? Like Higazi.
Like Higazi, yes. To come.
And he
Yeah,
came
sure.
from which club? So he made it to
Yeah,
Ali
yeah,
first, and he
exactly.
won something, and he played the international games, and then to go. That should happen like more, you know. That's